What do you guys think about Steve?
We don't have no grinders like we used to. We got this new generation just soft.
Fargo, even if it's a cloud thing or not, he's one of the players that beats Steve with ease.
Yeah.
And he still wants the character gone.
That's another thing y'all need to talk about.
No.
Age versatility.
How y'all feel about WarioWare? I think the Mexico community hates me. Cut some of this. Cut some of this. I'm not getting in trouble. I'm not getting in trouble.
These people are lunatics.
I don't think the online community of fans are part of the Smash community.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Go Talks, this time all the way in New York. And we actually have two special guests with us this time. It is EE and Coney.
Hi, everybody.
The biggest goats.
What it do, baby?
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
And we have them here. We are gathered, like I said, in New York. We're going to be talking about a couple of things about the game. It's 2024, new year. Lots of things coming up. I mean, lots of tournaments have been announced already. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Okay, so you two of my favorite commentators, if I'm allowed to say it. My favorites.
And Coney is a Mona's Pizza fan, so.
That's true. That
is
that as
amazing.
well. Yeah, big fan of the song selection. Yeah.
As the GOAT show, Go Talks, I'm sorry. You two are GOATs too. So we kind of just wanted to know your opinion on some of the things that are being happening in the Smash community nowadays. Starting the things with the most common question: what do you guys think about Steve as a commentator, like perspective? I'm not saying that like to say other things, of course, but like,
Yeah.
what do you guys really think about Steve?
The reason I was laughing is because I feel like it's there's that conversation that's been happening, and because of how outspoken, I don't know about you, but how outspoken I've been about Bayonetta in the last game, people have thought that maybe I've said too much, but they think that I hold the same feeling about Steve, like he's crazy powerful, and I'm trying not to say it now, but then in a few years I'm going to talk about how broken he is. I think he's crazy, and I think that it's the risk reward is massively shifted in his favor, but I don't think he's as bad as she was, straight up. I think he might have the same effect on mid-level play, which is to say, like, you know, he might stop people from playing at the mid-level and regionals, which I think is a valid concern.
Look, let me step in here, okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you why there's a problem with Steve, okay? It's a power scaling, not of the character, of the community. We don't have no grinders like we used to. We got these lab rats who go out, do all these combos and techniques and all this other stuff. You know who's a grinder? Anyone who fought Meta Knight and Brawl. You know who's a grinder? Anyone who fought Bayonetta and Smash 4. Because they was like, you know what? Can we say what we want on here?
Yeah.
It's like, that character, man. We're going to figure out a way to beat it. But you got this new generation just soft. Baby tissue, okay? You're just soft as hell. It's ridiculous. I can't believe some of the complaints I see. Meta Knight you had a case for. He littered those top 8s, top 16s. Same with Bayonetta. Steve is like 2, maybe 3 good Steves that I would recognize. You got, and 2 of them live in Japan. So what the hell are you American players about? It makes no sense to me, bro. All right, everybody, well, the Buzz is going to pick him up. He's going to break him up. The Buzz
is not going to pick him up.
We'll see how long that lasts.
That's not happening. The Buzz is not going to pick him up.
We'll see how long that lasts. Oh, well, if Salem was playing, well, if and nuts were candy and butts, we'd all have something to eat, okay? Shut the hell up. It ain't that big of a deal. I think this Steve propaganda is ridiculous.
Really? So you're that far gone? You think it's
I don't think it should be banned. In fact, I'll even say it. This tournament, it lost credibility by banning Steve. Sorry,
Mickey Mouse event.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'll
let's
say
make
it.
Mickey moves. Yeah,
Straight
make
Mickey moves.
I like that. Mickey
Tragedy.
moves, bro.
Come on, man.
Well, I mean, like, you could listen to us talk about it, but I'm honestly interested in your guys' thoughts, like, unfiltered. You know what I mean? I know that you've been pretty vocal. Like, you know, I kind of want to know what you guys think, because, like, from my perspective, it feels less about how strong the character is and more about, like, wow, I could actually just die at 60 if I misspace this move and I get mine carded. Like, that's not a character. It kind of is a character balance thing, but it's more just about, like, I have to consider this thing at all moments all the time, and they have to think about way less. You know what I mean?
Well,
at any given moment.
The thing is, like, that goes a little back into what you was saying. It's like, yeah, there's people who grind that matchup. I mean, look at Spargo. What's his record against Aquila? And even in game count. Like,
but how much of that is a cloud thing, though, right? Because, like, his character is built for that.
I do think there are characters that beat Steve or, like, do better than, like, other characters. Like, for example, Bayonetta had like very good matchups. There were only like 2-3 characters that could like, oh, I beat Bay, I go even. Same with Meta Knight. Maybe nobody beat Meta Knight, right?
Nobody beat
Yeah.
Meta Knight.
No,
I'll
nobody.
be honest
And
with you,
then-
nobody beat Meta Knight.
And then Steve, like, you see like many characters doing good against Steve, right?
Yes.
Like, you didn't see every Steve winning. You see them losing matchups that they might not know. Dude, there's like plus 90 characters. Like,
Right.
At least
Three
one
of them
gonna
done
beat.
retired. They couldn't get the job done.
Well,
I'm not dissing nobody. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, but my point with the Spargo thing though, it wasn't like around there. It was more so the fact that Spargo, even if it's a cloud thing or not, he's one of the players that beats Steve with ease.
Yeah.
And he still wants the character gone.
Yes.
And it's the top 2 player in the world.
That's
I'd
a
like
good
to
point.
point out though that the whole Spargo to Cloud thing, ain't nobody stopping nobody else from picking Cloud and learning the matchup like he does.
That's true.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that is
goes
a fair
back to
point.
my willingness to grind point. Now, if he doesn't like the character, that's his business. That's his prerogative. I ain't got nothing against Spargo. He whoever he wants banned. Okay, he want me banned. Ain't gonna happen, but he gonna want it. Okay, he gonna want it, and that's okay. I'm just saying there are ways to circumvent this. Grind harder.
I mean, another example is Mudace, who is historically very good against Steve, and I don't
Mhm.
think Peach beats Steve. Like,
Hell no.
There's
Yeah,
no
no
world
way. No
where
way.
that's the case. But I think it's like you see this actually, like to bring you up. I remember specifically, like when I watched you fighting Onin at SmashCon, it's like, wow, what do you actually do in this matchup? But it's the same feeling that I got when I watched you versus Light early, before Light figured out Game & Watch a little bit more, and it was like, oh, this is just a matchup check. And part of me thinks like, okay, game with 90 characters, you're going to run into these roadblocks. Do you persevere and go through it? Steve is just sort of at the top of the mountain. I mean, people aren't really talking about Kazi anymore. Crazy as he is,
Yeah.
but
fair.
it's like, you kind of figure that out. I don't know. To me, it's the eternal conversation around the best character in the Smash game. But this is, I think, the least egregious it's been, so it's difficult. This is a lot of people's first Smash game. You got to think about that. Ultimate has a lot of younger players and a player base. And maybe I'm just scarred by Bayonetta. I think that character was obscene. I think being able to kill you at 0% at any moment is, like, I think that is the craziest thing that's ever been in a Smash game. But maybe that's
And
just
she
me.
could do
I don't
that
know.
after patch, by the way.
Yeah,
Just for the record.
that
Well,
character's crazy.
That's the thing though. We did not get a patch that touched Steve at all. So
Yeah.
That's fair.
Mm,
That's fair, but they didn't have a patch for Meta Knight either.
anyways,
Dude always talking about Mennonite.
There
This
were
dude
no
always
such
talking
thing.
about Mennonite.
I'm old. What do you want? At least I embrace it. I admit it. You know, I'm old head. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like there was no patches for Melee either. Like
That's true.
That'd be so.
Well, there's the PAL
Come
one.
on.
There's the PAL one. We nerf Fox a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, an obsessive cult following, but maybe that's a topic for another podcast.
But I actually forgot what I was going to talk about. There was one more thing that I was going to talk to you guys about. Nah, I forgot.
So no ban.
Sorry, brother.
You guys say no ban.
I don't. It's not up to me. Like I don't think he should be banned, but I feel like that might be an old head mentality. I'm not the one putting in the money,
Yeah.
and like, you know what I mean. I'm not trying to like. You guys are the ones with your careers on the line and like putting yourselves out there. I'm not gonna be like, actually, you guys are not doing it right. It's your guys' choice, but I don't think he deserves to be banned. But that's just me.
there's always going to be a superior character. Like there's always going to be that one option. And as somebody who like loves sports to death, it's like I could never see like having like a Michael Jordan band. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm just saying like there's always like a best of some error, in this case a game. You know what I mean? I don't like putting a restriction on that because I do think the character's beatable despite how difficult it is.
Sure.
So, and that's just the spectator, that's the commentator, that's the competitor in me that believes that. You're free, of course, to disagree. I encourage it. I encourage healthy debates and discussions. That's just how I feel about it.
Okay, I think I remember some of what I was going to say. So this year, there's also this rumor going around. I mean, it's not really like you cannot really trust it, right? It's been around for a
Sure.
while, but the Switch 2 is going to release this year. And if it does, we all know what that means. There's going to be a new Smash. And you know what that means? You were pointing it out earlier. You were like, oh, in a few years, I'll be like, oh, yeah, this character was stupid. Why didn't we ban it?
Yes.
So you see the cycle being
the
repeated?
cycle continues. To me, no. I don't think so. Because again, I don't think I genuinely think when I was casting Bayonetta, I was trying really hard to try to cover both sides and be unbiased, while at the same time thinking in the back of my head, like, this is not fair. Like this should not exist in the game as it is. With Steve, I'm like, yeah, this is dumb, but there's only a couple people in the world that can pilot at this level. It's not like when 8 people were picking up Bayonetta. It's just not the same to me.
Results were very skewed. Like you got people who
Yeah.
had 2-2 going to like winning their locals with Bayo. It was a different.
Not even
time.
their locals. Just say it. Say what you wanted to say.
Well, national majors.
Look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. What was the last Evo was for Smash 4 that we had? That last one? Me and TK was on commentary for that. Top 4. I'm not gonna lie to you. Between them camera shots, we must have took at least 5 or 6 shots. I'm not lying to you. Honey whiskey, Jack Daniels. I remember it.
I remember
the podcast. I remember it. It got us through that top 4.
I
It's
ran an
horrible.
interview on the stage.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to them as they were doing it. I don't think it's as bad. But
Not as
I
bad,
get
yeah.
it. I get it.
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad, but I do agree with EE on that. I think if the Steves from like the US grinded even more
Sure.
and attended even more often, I think they would get there. Because like I know a couple good ones. Like the first one that comes to my mind is Yanni. I mean, he retired.
Yanni,
right?
yeah.
Like what he said, like, he just dipped.
Nah,
Yeah.
he's
And
outta here.
understandable because the character hate towards that character is also pretty bad.
Yeah.
And a lot of these players are very young too. But I don't know. Like there's this other player that he played Steve, but since they started banning him, he started using Peach, and I was like, bro, just use Steve.
Yeah.
Not every tournament has a ban. Just grind the character. Just get to the top,
Yeah.
Expose how bad of a problem it is, but that won't happen. So yeah, whatever.
It is weird that there's this prevailing problem in Smash, and you see it in Melee too, where everybody's like, it's not really a conversation anymore, but there was a conversation for a while about like Jigglypuff is killing the game. If everybody wanted to, they could switch to Jigglypuff and dominate. It's like, okay, well, why don't you? And they're like, well, I don't want to kill the game.
That was not true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's the thing is some people it's like, all right, well, Steve might kill the game. Why don't we all switch to Steve? He's kind of weird. So
Yeah.
like, part of me wonders how much Steve exposes the problem of like a lot of top players are just kind of lazy. I'm not saying in terms of like learning the counterplay to Steve, but learning Steve and really putting that time in to learn the character, both from a counterplay perspective or just playing him if they want.
That's a good point because like that first time, I think it was 2 Smash Cons go against Onin, right? Lil Rocky, okay? Lil Rocky. All right, it's a little bit. Did you ever think to yourself, damn, this character's good as hell. I know I'm good as hell. I should pick up Steve. Was there ever a time where Leo almost made Steve?
Never.
Damn,
No,
really?
No.
That's crazy.
It's funny because the thing Connie mentioned, right? Like sometimes top players are lazy. I do agree with the fact that some top players are lazy, but it's also pretty weird. Steve's a weird character.
Yes,
Like
definitely.
for me, I do consider myself to be very fundies, and I do play a lot of characters. And Steve just wasn't for me. Like I try to pick up Steve, and like this is completely different from like what I'm used to do.
Yeah.
But it's not something that I wouldn't know how to replicate. Like,
Sure.
With the time, with dedication, blah blah blah. I doubt it will be that hard. I like also, but no, not really. I would never main a Steve, and I never thought about it.
It's kind of interesting to me that you have sort of this what's the word, reputation for playing these characters that like you are the sword guy, but you're also playing characters that you like have that connection to, that you like in terms of like being the character. It's not just like, and you have such a wide array. Nobody has deep pockets like you. So it's kind of interesting that it seems to be like the one that I always think about is like the Gluto effect. Like Wario's good in Brawl, Gluto's good in Brawl. Wario sucks in Smash 4. Gluto's okay in Smash 4. Like, he's like a low-tier hero. And then he hits the jackpot in Ultimate. It's like, oh, my character's good again, right? You have this weird thing where, like, you don't really have to worry about that because you have such a wide spread. But at the same time, you're only really playing characters that you're interested in. So you're not picking the best character just to pick the best character. That's
Yeah.
never been your MO, right?
Yeah, This is actually really funny because I was explaining this to one of my friends that I usually don't pick up the characters because I think they're broken. I just get lucky, or maybe I'm
Yep.
just that good, right? It could be both, but
That's
No,
the
no.
Byleth conversation.
yeah,
I
I also
yeah.
believe Violet is like stupid, is broken, like you can
Sure.
tease you, blah blah blah. But I don't know, like every character is good,
Yeah.
at least in this game, not in other games. But like you can choose whatever you want.
Sure.
It's also bad that I like Fire Emblem too much, so I
Sure.
play every Fire Emblem.
That's
There's,
gonna
like,
hinder
20.
you a bit.
God,
Yeah.
stop.
Respect it.
No,
My-
you don't, and it's okay.
No,
What do you mean? Look, if you're if they had a what the hell is that anime I love? If they had Yu Hakusho characters in Smash, I'd main all 4 of them.
And of course, you say yes.
You, huh?
What do you mean? You is
You,
godlike.
I know the anime.
Would you play a Game & Watch no matter what?
Oh yeah, I've been playing him since Melee.
Right, but is that like a, how do I put this? Is that like a character loyalty thing, or is it just like this moveset is particularly sort of attuned to my sensibilities?
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
it's more so of that because I don't know, just his whole moveset is like what I like in a character.
Okay.
In Smash 4, I was like, I really only made him because of the 9. Like, I was like, it's so fun to cheese
Okay.
people.
Sure.
Yeah. And then the 2-2, the down throw up air,
Yeah.
that was fun because it was like, okay, if I grab you at 90, you're dead.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. And I like juggling people, like just keeping them in the air because back then they had a wind box.
Sure.
But in this game, it's kind of what you were saying with Gluto. I hit the jackpot too because it was like, before it would just push them up.
Right.
Now it deals damage and pushes them up and frame traps them and blah, blah, blah. So
Well, it took a while to notice. Like Game
Yeah.
& Watch kind of flew under the radar for a
Yeah.
while just because there are so many characters in the game that people
yeah, it's because
didn't really notice.
if you think about it, they literally reworked the entire character. Like his whole moveset is different. He no
Sure.
longer has wind boxes. His hitboxes are different.
Bombs are weird.
Exactly.
are
That
yeah.
move is frame 30. Like it's half a second.
It's
weird.
very strange.
Yeah. I don't know. His down smash berries now. It never did that.
That too.
Like, yeah. What else? Well, his tilts kill before they wouldn't. Down
Right.
tilt would kill, but F tilt no.
Chef
not really.
isn't a meme move anymore.
Yeah, no,
like
not
it was
anymore.
okay,
Yeah.
but like it's like now it's oh my god, like one
Yeah,
of the best
it's
ledge
OP.
trap moves in the game.
Chef
Yeah.
Angadu move makes me very mad.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's so weird the level like they made rotor arm crazy now.
Yeah.
Nikita used to be a joke move and now it's like a legit threat. I got a question and this is for the old heads. So you can agree with me that in Brawl it was exceptionally easy to track C4 for Snake, right?
Yes.
I always knew where it was all the time.
I would agree with that.
Do you guys have trouble tracking it in Ultimate? Because I don't know where it is ever.
yes.
Why? Why? Is it because it's a slower game? Because Brawl's slower?
Maybe so because I mean the movement options just weren't the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like our attention to detail was like not as skewed.
I've always wondered if it was a game speed thing or a mental stack thing. Because in Brawl, you literally like I knew where it was at all moments. But when I watch Ultimate, I'm like, where did Apollo Kage put it? Where is it right now? I have to like think about it, and I'm thinking from the player perspective. I'm like, oh, they know. They're
Yeah.
top players. They know where it is. But I
They
see
get
it
it all
hit
the
a
time.
lot.
Fucking explode.
I see it hit
Yeah,
a lot.
no.
So all right, I'm glad it's not
Yeah.
just me being old. It feels weird.
Yeah, it could also be like the game graphics, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's
it's
what I
more
was gonna
realistic.
It's like darker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Snake used to pick Lilat all the time because
Oh,
it's
no,
like
that's
you can't
mean.
see anything.
Thank God it's banned in this game.
Yeah.
That's another thing y'all need to talk about.
No.
Stage versatility.
How y'all feel about WarioWare? man?
I wanted lead.
You do?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
my God.
yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
no
Yeah.
hazards.
I'm-
Game Watch player. No hazards.
No hazard.
No hazards.
Yeah,
okay, there we
let's
go.
Yeah, see, there we go. That's two bona fide pros who are on
There you
board.
go. Top
You know what?
players on our side.
You know the only thing that's actually stopping this from happening is revolution. These TOs talking about, oh, we're not gonna change anything. Well, maybe we change our mind about coming to your tournament. I mean, change your mind about coming to your tournament.
That's right. We
Think
boycott.
about that.
The
Huh?
change starts today.
Yeah.
You
I'm
got,
not-
You see, y'all got. That's why I've always said the players got a lot of power.
They do.
Join the
players got
Mockingjay.
much power.
I'm not working this event until Max adds WarioWare this weekend. I'm not working this event. I'm not doing it.
We will issue no refunds.
Nope. Not gonna happen. The top players do have a lot of power.
They
though.
do.
Like genuinely. I saw, dude. Okay, this is a little meta. I saw you guys do a ranking of your favorite Smash Ultimate tournaments, and I'm like, ooh, here's the tea.
Thanks for the watch the throne up. Thanks. Thanks for
I got
There
you.
go. I watched that, and I didn't watch the whole thing. I just skipped to the end because I'm like, ooh, spill the tea. What tournament don't we like? And they're all S and A tier. You guys are so come on.
Okay,
not
listen,
every tournament is S and A.
I do
tier.
want to talk about that, but I gotta be honest. Like, I was talking off camera with my girlfriend about it because I was like, "Oh, we recorded this video. It's really cool and whatever."
Mhm.
And she was like, "Oh, which tournament did you like, right?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I didn't like this tournament because it had this, this, and that." But then I was like, "Oh, but you know what? It was still good. Like Loki,
Yeah.
I just enjoy every event." But I will say the only tournament I wanted to put at B or C tier was Genesis. Genesis sucked last year.
Really?
I'm gonna say it. Yeah, it had no theater, bro.
Oh,
It had no
yeah,
friendlies on
theater.
Sunday,
Yeah.
and the finals were in the venue. Like,
Losing the theater is like a huge.
Yeah,
that's like
that
one of the
was bad.
identifying
Hold on,
factors.
hold on.
Wait.
Not winning at the
Hold on.
theater.
Oh, he's mad.
I gotta
Hold on,
defend
hold on.
Genesis
Hold
on that one. We all know what happened. There was an extreme. The bottom fell out of Smash as far as budgets go.
Wow.
Like
Oh,
they were
well,
a
yeah.
victim of circumstance.
listen,
Yeah.
and,
You too.
and I
Yeah.
understand
So
that.
like
no, listen.
that's really what happened, bro. That's really what happened. So
No.
they did the best of what they had. It's
I-
back
yeah.
this year. It's back this
Yeah.
year. Just throwing it out there.
I think it's I'm not making every tournament as an A tier because like you know how much TO sacrifice
Yeah,
really hard.
exactly
I
that
get it.
too.
I get it was just funny to me because I was like
Yeah.
you don't we've thought about the same thing of like doing some kind of tier list, but at the end of the day you don't want to like say the tournament isn't good. I'm
No,
just
I mean,
kidding.
like I said, well, the final stuff for Genesis I understood because I thought it was somewhere around that,
Mhm.
like as to why it
yeah,
happened.
that whole thing.
But for me, it wasn't just that. It was what I told you, right? It's like, okay, well, the finals are on Sunday at the venue.
Yeah.
Something you can do is leave some friendly setups, right? There were like 4 friendly setups.
They did pack them up early.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. They should have done that. for
And
sure.
that to me was like, well, what do I do? Like, I don't want to watch Melee. I love Melee, but I didn't want to watch it that day.
Right.
So I wanted to at least play the game I actually play, and there were no setups. So to me, it was like, okay, this is not it.
Sure.
But yeah, it goes around that as well. Where like every TO just puts so much love into their event. Like it's just so good.
You don't want to be disrespectful. You know
Yeah,
how much they're
exactly.
putting in. I
You
totally
have
get
to be
it.
grateful, man. Like everything TOs do for the scene and just their tournaments and everything is just insane. Like,
That's a fact.
yeah.
Especially the ones behind the scenes.
Is there something you want to talk about?
No. Just
Not
saying-
on camera.
No, I'm just saying the ones
No.
behind the scenes who put in a lot of work you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna shout out House of 3000. You know, I'm shouting out my boy Devin for all the work they do here, right
Love
here in New
Hoek.
York, because they do so much. man.
Love Hoek.
Yes.
And you know, they don't always get the recognition they should. So I just want to give them a quick shout out.
Yeah. But
All right, boys.
yeah.
I know you don't want to touch that topic, but
What topic?
which is your favorite tournament?
Oh yeah.
Watch His Throne. Sing Watch His
Be
Throne.
fully
somehow.
honest.
Yeah, you guys liked it? Did you guys
Yeah.
have a good time in Watch the Throne?
Yeah, it was
You had a
amazing.
good
Well,
time?
he wasn't there.
Yeah, but I
Oh, yeah,
watched it.
right.
But
But you liked to watch
see it.
Yeah.
You did see it.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh man, favorite tournament. That's always a tough one for me. Because so many of them have like different vibes. You know, obviously I'm really proud to Watch the Throne. I had a big hand in putting that on. So I want to exclude that from the conversation just because I think it's a little biased.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm gonna go SmashCon.
Smash Con.
And I'm gonna go SmashCon because they make such an open effort to make it a participant thing, not just a player thing. Like you could come as a casual, as a spectator, and still find something to do, find something to invest in. Like for instance, like I got to do a talent show this year. You had your creator stage as well. Like those were really fun, engaging things that weren't just for players. And they just have an emphasis on celebrating not just Smash, but other platformers as well. Plenty of space as well. Good food options right there. I mean, come on, you know, I mean, the nightlife ain't the greatest. It's Virginia though. What do you want from it? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Dos Amigos again.
Yeah, again, like, hey, we're back. You know what I mean? I think we single-handedly keep them in business every year. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, yeah, that's definitely because it's the tournament I recommend everybody go to if you're a first timer and you're
Yeah.
able to get to it.
I think it's Smash Con in that it's not even a contest.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
at least
no.
for me, and it's a little different because like I'm real good friends with Justin, the guy that runs it, and him and I had a lot of conversations before it started
Love Justin.
because love that guy. There was a bigger problem, not really so much anymore, but in Smash where tournaments weren't really doing much to innovate or differentiate each other. So it's just like a ballroom over and over and over. I think what EMG and Big Moves and even Gommel is really sort of honing in on is that not underground vibe, but it doesn't feel like this massive convention center. Like it's a pretty, I don't want to say basement because that sounds derogatory, but I think these tournaments have a very sort of, you're never 50 feet away from the stage. And I think that creates an electric atmosphere, and that's what these tournaments are doing well. I think what SmashCon is doing well is creating that convention experience beyond just a bracket.
Yeah.
It's something that people are showing up to the tournament. They're able to see the cosplay experience, the live experiential events, be part of the creator stuff if a content creator is doing something. I think it's from a competitor perspective, I wonder for you guys how different every tournament is. I mean, obviously, the water parks are fun and all, but you're not there to swim.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
I was gonna say the only tournament we didn't put there, and I don't know why, was Low Tide City this year, and that's why I go to Low Tide City because I enjoy the water park. So
okay,
yeah,
sure.
yeah, it's actually one of my favorite tiers because of that. S tier, but yeah, I don't know. I guess to us, the way we rank some of them was like not just the bracket, but what we would be doing during that tournament, right?
like the whole experience, not only like in bracket.
Yeah,
I can relate that because like for me, another tournament I'll shout out, Delfino Mazza was an S tier for me. I love that event. Oh my God.
Mhm.
The Mexico community was so welcoming and so warm. And
I
it's
hear
just-
Mexico is amazing.
it's just
like
beautiful.
the community
dude,
is.
they're such a and I'm glad I was able to go down there because there is a negative stigma I feel like around Mexico sometimes. Erase that, bro. That is a great community down there. Great food, and I can't wait to go back again. I'd go back like at any point I'm invited.
Well,
That's how great it was.
Everybody down that has gone because like Mr. R said it. Mr. R was your harbinger. He was the guy that went down there. Was like, there's a kid down there that is going to take over the world.
Evo.
Right after Evo.
Mhm.
Mr. R was the first guy that was like, Mexico's amazing. Then Max was the next guy.
Yep.
Everybody that goes down there comes back and they're like, this community is very welcoming and very inviting. And Delfino Mazza looked amazing. So
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Yep.
yeah.
You should go next year for sure.
I would love to. If I get the invite, I'm happy to do it. I'd love to go
Well,
down.
nice.
Yeah.
Chris, trust me. I'll show you the spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show you the spots.
I don't
Tear that
think,
town up, boy.
I don't think
I'll show you
the
the spots too.
yeah, please. I actually want to get into this conversation now that I have both of you on here. I think the Mexico community hates me. Seriously,
No,
the,
no.
the community of Mexico hates me. This isn't a joke. So there's a tournament set, Evo 2019,
Oh,
you versus Tweak. I got so much flack for. I don't know if any of this can make it because it might be too controversial.
No, go for it,
I
go
got
for it.
so much flack because in that set, it sounds like me and my co-caster are incredibly biased for Tweak. Do you
Yeah.
know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I do.
And you and I have talked about this. If you watch the top 8 in its entirety, it's Leo is at 7th, but everybody knows he's gonna win. There's this feeling like you beat like Raito and then you beat Gluto, I think, and then you just like it's like you're like this hurricane tearing through the bracket. And I said that at one point. It's like you know he's gonna win. And Tweak is like the last Vanguard, and then you beat him with this miraculous comeback. And it was crazy. I got so much hate for that set from the Mexican community that I think I would never be welcome down there at an event.
Yeah.
And I get it. I understand, but
No. Okay. So
I got so much hate online, dude. It was crazy.
No,
They thought I
it's
hated
weird.
you. And I'm like, dude, I love Leo. He's like one of my favorite players, but it was a very bizarre, it was a learning experience because it's like, okay, you have to take every set and treat it as if it's its own like narrative. Because if you try to do this sweeping thing, people only watch one set and then they're not going to get the whole thing.
Didn't
You know what I
have
mean?
to
Like-
translate some of the tweets too because they were in Spanish.
oh, I had to translate a bunch. It was
they
like
were all really mean.
it was just really minute. It was like ja 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 Coney Sarg Leo the goat.
Ja ja ja.
Pincha tu madre. I'm like, what the did I do, man? Come on. I didn't, man. I like Leo. Come on, man. Yeah, I felt really bad about
No,
that.
I think if you go,
Yeah.
you'll be more than fine. Like
Yeah.
I think people will welcome you. It's interesting because the first time I saw that was when you were commentating my matches at the 2021 glitch, the one where I beat Mars and the Monos Pizza thing.
Yeah, yeah,
became
yeah,
blah, blah, blah. So I remember like when I beat Mars, people started tweeting about you, about like, oh, Coney, I can't believe Coney did that. But that was kind of a meme, right? But then I started genuinely asking my friends, like, yo, what are you guys talking about? And they were like, it's just Coney, like, he hates you. And I was like, no, he doesn't.
So you had the inside experience. You were talking to them, and
Yeah,
they were,
yeah. But I was like,
I'm so embarrassed. This is a real thing, man.
No,
okay.
no.
all right.
But the thing is, like, I was like, why are you saying that? And they were like, well, you should watch your bot versus Mars, right? So I watched it, and I was like, guys, what the are we talking
What
about? like, there's nothing here, like, nothing at all. And they were like, well, I think he's a little biased. I was like, no, he's not. So I do want to tell the community, like, yeah, I don't know where it's coming from.
I just wanted to make I wanted to talk because I've talked with you both individually, and I don't want
Yeah.
people to think that I'm like not. The last thing I would want to do, obviously, I'll talk if it's funny. I'll make fun of players, but I genuinely never want to make a player feel like I am disrespecting their craft
Mm.
or because like, dude, it's hard to do that. It's hard to be a competitor in anything, let alone this game with so many characters and so much on the line, so much traveling. It's unbelievable. So okay, it's good to. I was curious. And I've talked to you a few times about this
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
just don't like. You never know how players are going to take it or how the community will react. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's you have to be very careful because it's just so easy for people to like take something from what you said just out of context.
Oh, that happens a lot.
Yeah, and
yeah,
then post it, and they'll be like, "Oh, I can't believe this happened," or "He said that,"
yeah.
and you have to be there, like, "Guys, this is what happened."
Yeah.
I think you should be fine.
Yeah.
Once you get there, I feel like you will be really welcomed and
Okay.
you're gonna love it.
I think a lot of it is just online. It's just people.
That's another
like,
thing. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to be fair, I'm intentionally antagonistic at times,
That's
and I'll
true.
talk a lot of shit, so I understand.
Old
but,
wounds
know.
are meant to heal. Shouts to Ken.
Yeah, it turns out there was never beef.
That's
So-
a
No, that's
very-
not true. Well, it wasn't
Well,
beef with Ken. But
Yeah.
I've located the target.
Is it?
Come out of retirement, Como.
Go.
The bell tolls for thee.
He's gonna show back up, and it's gonna not be him, and then we're gonna do this with another
No,
player.
Yeah,
It's just gonna
exactly.
keep happening
it
over
had
and
to
over.
be him, okay? And there's a tournament in Japan at some point later this year. I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna use my limited resources to get the Japanese community to get him to that tournament.
I want to see that. I will be there too.
Oh,
So
come on, man.
I'll be supporting.
Bad enough.
We'll take him to a McDonald's and you can skip the line. We'll call you, be like,
Nope.
okay, this is your moment, dude.
Genius. And what you do, we don't even take. He didn't even know I'm there. We just take him there and then just watch him.
Yeah.
So watch what he says. He'll try to order in Japanese first, and then we'll have a dedicated desk person, cashier, a dedicated cashier who's just like, oh, English line only. Oh, you might think he's gonna move to the other line until he makes that order, and then like,
Candid camera him. Candid camera. I feel that, yeah.
validation on the way.
Yeah.
Sorry to derail.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah,
That's
go for
completely
it.
fine.
Yeah.
They'll edit around it.
But anyways, go to Mexico. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you got fans in there as well. Like
Yeah,
you might get haters because I mean I'm pretty sure some people actually get mad at those
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
but,
yeah.
I mean the fans, bro.
I'm not too worried about it.
You gotta be fine.
Yeah, I'm not.
You be
It
with
was
me.
what I cared more about is genuinely what players thought, because it's not something I want players to know. It's always jokes if I ever talk or whatever, and not that it's like a genuine disregard. I mean, I the thing that I always come back to is at your first summit, I talked to you and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
all right, it's Game and Watch. I'm gonna ask all the players if Maister deserves to be there, and then you get to defend yourself. You get to be funny on camera, and everybody's like, oh, this guy's really cool. And everybody else gets to say that you do deserve to be there, and hopefully it adds a little bit. But, you know, I think some people thought that was disrespectful when the point of it is to give you a platform to be able to speak again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's always that fine line where, like,
Hey, yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, my Twitch during that season got like 2,000 subs. So
oh my God,
Goal
really?
achieved. Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think I like the fact that you two are not only podcasting but doing a little bit more content in general. You guys have great personalities. I don't think people
Yes,
sometimes
yeah.
originally people didn't see you guys probably beyond the sticks. You know what I mean? Like these are just
Yeah.
good players, but these motherfuckers funny. All right, I'm gonna tell you right now, these are some funny dudes.
Well, even
okay?
like Sonics, man.
Sonics
like,
is very
Yeah,
comical.
Sonic's amazing.
like Tweak, who is pretty, you know, kind of calm and reserved in a lot of ways. Even on his own podcast, if you get him comfortable, he's like he's a funny dude.
Even if you get them uncomfortable, which I'm great at.
Oh, that's good too. Yeah, being uncomfortable is good too. It's a fun
Yeah.
time. But it's good. I'm really glad to see you guys, like, even you, Leo. I mean, like, I remember you were pretty, you know, it's like you were very shy, kind of. You were young, coming to all these events, traveling all the time. Seeing you sort of blossom into this kind of thing and being able to talk on this is, I don't know, it's nice. It's good to see you and doing this.
That's just personal stuff because like I'm usually the kind of guy that doesn't do something if I'm not good at it. So I
Sure.
didn't want to say anything because I wasn't good at English. So for me, that was just pointless.
Oh my god!
Like
yeah.
I wasn't gonna do it until I was
You,
good at it.
you, I can't remember if it was your first or second Genesis title, but I remember I interviewed you, and we had to have a translator there because it was in Spanish. It was I couldn't remember who translated. I feel bad, I don't remember.
I do remember.
But I interviewed you, and it's just crazy to like kind of look back, like that's like 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, and now like your English is so fluid, and you're just like so much more outgoing, and that's crazy. I'm happy for you, man.
Thank
Proud of you,
bro.
That
We're both
actually
very
legit
proud of
makes
you.
me really happy, man. I
We're
just
both
thought
very
about
proud.
that. That's crazy.
I think we as casters who have been in the game for so long have a genuine admiration for this generation of
Definitely.
top players. Like unironically, like there is something noble might be the word,
Noble?
genuinely
Yeah,
of
yeah.
of like the current top player landscape of just like everybody's, you know, humble, respectful. There's always talk. This stuff. I was riding at Watch the Throne. I was riding in a car. It might have been Miami actually, but it was Sonic's. And he was talking about how he lost the night before to Spargo in Coinbox, and it was so funny because like you could tell the fire's there, but it's not. I don't know. For being such a young community of top players, there's a genuine. I don't know. It's a camaraderie there, and that's nice. I think.
yeah, I think most of it is because like right now, like a lot of us started at least in Ultimate when we had like 18, 19, and that's like sure you're an adult, but like you're still a kid. Let's be fucking honest.
Yeah.
Right? And not right now. I mean, about to turn 23. I'm about to turn 24, and we kind of got our together. I've had some ups as well, for example, but
Of course.
eventually you come around and you're like, okay, that's not okay. So
Right.
yeah,
We've all
I
messed
think
up,
that's what
man.
it is. Yeah.
Well, some worse than others.
Hasn't affected you at all. Hasn't affected you one bit. Somehow he comes out of it unscathed every time.
Hey, what do you mean, man? Somebody's got to be the comedic relief for this.
I don't know how you get out of it.
I'm just here. You know, I'll tell you the exact moment though when I think true trash talk died in Smash.
Mhm.
Right? I have it pinned to a science. You want to know when? When Esam and Samsora had that manufactured trash talk, and it got to the point where Esam messaged him like, "Hey man, I know we're doing this for and giggles, but I think you took it too far." I said,
I don't remember
I
that.
said, "Oh yeah,
Really?
oh yeah." He sent him. He sent Samsora a message talking about I went too far. Yeah, and I was,
Samsora's a cat. Well, he wouldn't say
Yeah.
anything that bad.
I mean,
He's gentle.
I guess it was just like he kept doing it. He was like consistent.
Oh, I see. He
with it.
kept poking at it.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Samsora's he's such a sweet guy.
I said that's the moment I felt like trash talk truly died in this community. I said these are two top players at the time.
Damn, you didn't have to do it
Maybe
like
we
that.
should
No, I'm not being.
cut some of this.
No,
Cut some of this. I'm not getting in trouble. I'm not getting in trouble.
I'm not being mean. I'm not being mean. Esam still puts out phenomenal content. Okay, I'm just saying he doesn't have that same drive to be a top player anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
Oh
You
no,
know,
yeah, that's fine. 'cause,
That's
like,
fine.
eventually you move from the I want to compete, I want to be a top player phase into, hey, you know what I'm doing?
He's probably making more with content and like his metaphors. Like that's the next evolution of players. Truly, is your
Yeah.
mogul phase. You got your player phase, then you go to your mogul phase. Mars, I think Mars retired early, went to his mogul phase.
Yeah.
Killing it with content consistently. Twitch, YouTube, and there's other avenues he can still tap into, right? Like
Yeah.
TikTok's out there, Instagram's out there. There's
Sure.
a lot of avenues for you guys to take advantage of, especially if another Smash game does indeed potentially drop
Yeah.
this year. Potentially.
Potentially.
I don't know nothing.
It's probably a port, man. Well, no,
Ultimate
actually.
Deluxe would go
it's
crazy.
probably
Yeah,
Deluxe.
but please
Well,
nerf Steve and
They
I
might
Coach.
do
can't
that.
imagine them not porting it and not giving a balance change.
You're
that's-
asking for a lot.
But they gotta give you
like
something.
100%. I think there will be a
Yeah,
balance
even
change.
if, like in that new Mario Superstars, they changed some things around. In
Oh, really?
Mario Deluxe,
They're
whatever
still
that
changing
game
Mario
is.
Kart.
Kart, they changed some stuff
yeah.
around. They
Oh,
do the
actually,
same thing
you're
with
right about
Smash.
that.
Come on.
But the thing, I like many other people are just like, okay, it's probably a port because that's the most logistically easy thing. But then there's also like the licensing conversation because like this is a miracle game with all these characters. So maybe it's a brand new thing. I don't know. I think the people that are
Yeah.
saying there will never be another Smash game are dumb and naive because clearly,
Obviously.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But what? So if let's say the next Smash game comes out and you're gonna find a character, I think you're whatever. What if Game & Watch is just? What if he's bad?
I'll
What's
play
your-
her.
You're still gonna do it?
I mean, I played a character in Smash 4 and won a
Yeah,
it
but
wasn't
how-
major, but yeah.
How do they have to be? Like, at what point would you like if you can't crack the top 64 at a major? Would you be like, all right, you know what? I can't do this. Like, at what point do you?
I mean, see, it's weird right now because like I've been playing a lot of characters lately. Like I've been playing Wario, I've been playing Lucina, I've been playing Sora. I mean, I still play Game & Watch,
Mhm.
and I've come to figure out that I'm not too bad with those characters either. I'm
Sure.
actually pretty good. Like I funnily enough consider Wario to be my second best character,
Okay,
but
Wow.
I'm not gonna use him because he doesn't really do anything against Sonic, for example.
he
Like-
doesn't fix any problem.
exactly. Yeah,
It's funny that Wario on Game Watch has been a consistent like
combo.
Remember that guy? Sorry, there's a guy from our region. There's a guy from our region that played Wario in Game & Watch. That's a pretty common like mix for some reason. Yeah, I have a foundational memory of you playing Pichu at a summit once.
Oh yeah, that's
because we only knew you for Game & Watch. It was like, what the f-?
Yeah.
See, and then I think T played Ensign. It was T or Ken. He played at Center where I was like, what? I think it was T, and he was very
Sounds
good
like
with
T.
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was surprising, but
Listen, look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Okay, let's say a new Smash game does come out, and Game & Watch is trash, brother. Let it go. Okay, 'cause I'm gonna tell you, I've seen too many players let pride come between them and a sponsorship. I don't think
Oh.
Leo gonna let you sit up here with him getting 149th in no nationals now. You
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
come
no.
correct.
Yeah.
how
no, that's
bad
fine.
are we talking? Like bottom,
Like low tier. If he's
low tier?
mid tier, I
Okay.
can work with that.
Sure. Yes,
okay,
I agree
mid
with
tier I
that.
can give you. Low tier,
No, low tier, get that out of here.
If he's like bottom
Yeah,
one,
I've
he's-
been asked this question so many times. Like, I've always said the same thing. It's like, if he sucks, he has to like suck.
Yeah.
Like, be terrible.
Sure, you're in that Gluto train.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
Gluto, like even if
That's
it's
fair.
Smash 4
Yeah.
Wario.
But at
yeah.
the same time, it's what I'm saying right now. It's like I can play other characters, and it's kind of like what Leo has with his characters.
Sure.
For me, it's the same thing. If the character's fun, that's why I've stuck to Sora, and that's why I'm so like conflicted with like, should I use him or not? Because he's probably the character that I have the most fun with.
you shouldn't. He's
But
bad.
he's bad,
He's
exactly,
very bad.
and that's why I don't use him.
boy, I always think as a top player, it's got to be terrifying to just know like a new title's coming out and just being worried about not finding a character, man. I mean,
Happened to me, man.
well,
I mean, I was getting out of the scene anyway, but it happened to me.
yeah, but
like-
even on a larger scale, I just think of like somebody like Mewtwo King, who dominated in Melee,
right.
multiple characters, dominated in Brawl with Meta Knight, Smash 4.
He's on Rosalina.
Varying success with Cloud here and there, I think. And then Ultimate, he's a lot of people's favorite casual player.
Do you, how much of that do you think is not finding a character, and how much do you think is that mogul phase though? Because I think he's just older.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely probably was the like it's got to be worth it to somebody like him at this point to like go out to an event when he routinely sits there and streams for like over 10 hours a day.
Dude, he's
Like I'm
on.
sure he's doing great. And I'm happy for him because I do consider Beats King a friend. But it's just such a like, I feel like if you guys ever got to that point where it's just like you don't even want to compete anymore, you just want to make content and stream. I'm just thinking like how long it took Beats King to get to that point. For us, we might be in our 40s
right.
because you just mentioned it, just turned 23, just turned 24. It's
That's true.
crazy.
Yeah, it
You know?
depends on how long it takes the next game to come out.
Yeah.
So
A lot of hypotheticals here, but
I don't
Yeah.
think I'm retiring soon. I don't think I'm gonna go into that content phase.
okay.
no,
No,
No.
I'm a competitor. I really like competing.
yeah, you've got a bunch of years on you. It's funny because I was talking with our content guy earlier, and it was something about how like you specifically, it was surprising because when we shot the content in Miami, we had a conversation about like it was that whole Spectrum video where it was I get nervous before a big game, and you said that you did, and it's so weird because like you from the outside perspective were someone who just never looked shaken at all. It was as somebody who's been around for over a decade, it was the strangest thing I'd ever seen because you literally would just not, you were ice cold all the time. And I don't want to see you stop competing because I feel like there's like, obviously every competitor is ups and downs, but that is still within you latent to be able to be that type of that player. And like, I don't know, that's generational, man. I've never seen that in any competitor in any medium. Seriously. Like, I don't know. It was unbelievable to watch. I don't know how you were able to do that.
there was a legit conversation about you when you won the last Genesis that people were having like, hey, we need to start putting this guy up there with maybe the like greatest gamer like of his generation. Like because it's multiple Smash titles, it's multiple wins of that caliber. There was a serious conversation going around. I remember Aiden started it, I think.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I
that.
remember
Yeah.
that. Aiden was taking notice.
Well, I appreciate it, everyone.
Yeah.
I do. Not stopping competing anytime soon. As you said, everybody has ups and downs, but I wouldn't really consider this as my lowest. I do consider that I
Not
could be
lowest.
worst, but like this is nowhere near my best.
No, not even.
I'm
Not
pretty sure
close.
everybody knows that.
But it doesn't affect you. It doesn't seem to. Like a lot of players kind of go into their this like mental hibernation where they get really frustrated at themselves and it kind of spirals them
Yeah.
sometimes. But
The thing with me is that like, of course, like I don't go to tournaments just to lose, right? Like
Yeah.
who likes losing? Like I
Of
don't
course.
like I never go to tournaments like even if I don't care that much, like I do want to win, right?
Of
Like
course.
the person that's in there wants to win, but it actually does not really annoy me like that much. Probably losing, but the things that come after losing, like I don't know, like maybe people making fun of me or like the rankings, like going low, stuff like that.
sure.
It's complicated to explain. I guess I could explain why, but I do not.
It seems like the online facet of the scene does not affect you in any way.
No.
Like the like spectators or the audience or the fans.
I do care about spectators because I really like people watching me play.
Sure.
Like, that's probably one of the reasons why I do it because I want people to pop off for me. I want people to be like, yo, that was crazy.
Sure.
But I don't know. Like when I see someone on Twitter trash talking, I'm like, oh yeah, that's crazy. Then I start doing something else and I forget.
turn it off. Yeah, you
and
turn
it's
it
like,
off.
oh, cool. And then I see it again. I was like, I was gonna answer. Nah, forget it. And
I feel like that's got to be difficult. I'm surprised that you're that flippant about it, because I feel that's probably not the right word. But I feel like, as we talk about this a lot, but when you were coming up sort of in Brawl or maybe even early Smash 4, there were very few viewers or spectators or fans. It was just like, if you're in the scene, you are a player, which means that you don't have this attachment to the same degree of like a fan level of attachment of getting mad when somebody loses, really cheering on a win, sending those weird tweets where you're way too invested in this person. You know what I mean? That wasn't really a part of the scene. And when I look at it from your guys' perspective, seeing that all day, every day, being inundated with it, it's like a whole other part of the experience of being a top player that, like, we didn't have to reckon with. We only got trash talk from other players, and then obviously the answer is like, all right, well, let's play the set. Like, you're not going to play the set with, 20 follower Timmy who, plays Elite Smash and can barely get into Global. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a different kind of vibe. And it's one that, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of top players have sort of navigated with grace, which is nice.
I agree with that. I mean, you can't give credence to a bunch of crazy online folk. Trust me, I know that. Like, these people are lunatics. You got, like, let me say something. You ever want to get back at somebody? You ain't got to say nothing to them. They tweet something at you. Go look how many times they tweeted that day. It's probably within 15 to 20 times.
Yeah.
About a whole bunch of nothing. And ain't nobody listening. You might average 5 likes if you're lucky. And that's on a weekend. That's on a weekend, okay? It's just sad, some of these people out here. Now, of course, if you're one of my supporters,
It is actually
one of my
sad.
supporters, I'm not talking to you. The rest of you lames, kick rocks. That's what I got to say.
Yeah.
It is low-key sad.
Yeah.
I agree.
You guys ever do the Twitter math? I love doing that. He knows I love doing this. What I'll do,
What is that?
so you go to their page and you go to the number, and it says how many tweets they do,
Oh, yeah.
and how many tweets they have total, and then you divide that by the days that their account is active. Oh, I'd be doing that. I'd be doing
That
that.
is very cool.
I see the yappers. Yeah, and
There's
I have a leaderboard. I have a mental leaderboard of people who tweet 50 times a day on average, which means that some days are way higher. It's bizarre. How do we even get on this topic? I don't even want to. I don't even know what we're talking.
it's just funny.
It is the online. I think at the core of it is this this thing that I feel, and maybe I'm wrong about this, and I want to know your guys' perspective. I don't think the online community of fans are part of the Smash community.
I agree with that because it's mostly people who don't even play the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think the Smash community are the people in the room at the tournaments, a part of the scene. Even if you're just a spectator, if you're there, if you watch it, you're a fan. You can be a fan, but that's what you are. You're a fan of the community. You're not in the community. If you're creating something, if you're somebody like Spiff, you're in the community because you are actively contributing to the culture. If you're just a guy that just, chirps up when somebody's winning or losing, I don't think,
You're just
Yeah.
you're a casual, and that's being polite about it, to be honest.
That's just being a fan.
But, yeah.
basically.
It's okay to be a fan. It's
Yeah.
okay to be a fan.
And we need people like
Yes.
that. It's just like, my thing is like, I just,
lots
if
of
I see
vexed
someone
opinions.
troll
Yeah.
Leo, I'm just like, where's your appreciation for what this guy has done for the community? Where's your appreciation for the accolades? You know what I'm saying? But that's me. Again, this comes back to me being so heavily invested in like sports. I feel like I can appreciate greatness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
Maybe
course.
like the mindset's not the same with other people. They're just trying to get like a laugh or whatever, get their, like I said, their 5 like average or whatever. But I don't know, bro. I feel like it's just whack. That's just me. Oh.
That's why we've had to. I don't know about you. I've made a concerted effort to gas up Sonics way more
Yeah.
because it's like people like.
I would like to go. I've always supported science. Go back.
Oh, yeah.
Go back to Smash 4. Who was the first member of EE Sports? I bet he still got the wristband. That's right. That's right. Get his over
I
here.
didn't know that. I didn't know he was the first person.
Come on now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think that like. I don't think people appreciate because like we would make jokes about it or whatever, and obviously the chat has a visceral reaction because a lot of them don't know what they're seeing. But I think that there is a responsibility of the casters to be able to communicate the level of mastery
Yeah.
that we're seeing, and I'm glad that that's coming through more and more. I think the bigger problem is it's just the same top 8s over and over now, but that's like just late game.
Yeah.
That's late
yeah.
game. Like the game is going late, and people are getting better and better.
I think we talked about it. Like there's some instances where we would rather like cast top 16
Yep.
Then top 8 to
Yeah.
top 4. Yeah.
Dude,
Just a
32-16 go crazy.
Yeah, it's just like crazy, because you know you're gonna have like just your straight up W key players, like they just want to scrap and fight. It's great, you know what I mean? And then like as it kind of winds down, yes, it like you get more of like your characters that slow the pace down, but for good reason. You understand how they play it and why they do it. It's still entertaining to watch. But sometimes I just want to watch like Roy.
Trying to see
and
Sky
Peach.
J, bro.
You know what I mean? Roy,
see
yeah.
Sky J
You know what
go
I'm saying?
foolish.
Joker and Incineroar just slug
Shit.
it out. You know what I mean? So
Skyju?
Sky, Sky just need to get his stuff together. Last time I saw him in a tournament, he was playing League of Legends leading into it. Lost round 1 and then DQ'd from the tournament. The hell is that? The hell is that, Sky
League
J?
will f up your life.
The heck wrong with this man?
Get off.
Come on now.
No
Sky.
more Riot game.
No comment.
I ain't saying nothing that ain't true.
Just call him Iskakaj next time you see him.
I ain't saying nothing that ain't true. Producer, you calling me crazy? What is this? Oh, he's saying rap. Okay.
Sorry, we took over
Okay.
your show. We've been yapping for like.
I'm
No,
a,
it's
yeah,
fine.
I'm
This
a
is
professional
golden.
yapper.
My
I'm
bad.
sorry, y'all. I apologize.
Well, I don't know who you were trying to watch, but you should definitely watch more of these episodes. Thank you so much for watching. Go Talk every week, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you, Coney, EE, for being with us. See you on the next one, guys.